Spirit has chosen the Thirds BME spread for your general monthly reading. BME stands for beginning, middle, and end, and this spread is an excellent one for when timing is important. There are tarot cards that point to early and late in the month, but there's no clear way for them to say, pay attention to the middle. Until now, Thirds helps us assign information into these three sections. And that is what we're going to do today. Welcome in, Libra. It is time for your Thirds BME spread, beginning, middle, and end. All the card work's done. You can see the picture here on your screen. Shows you what I'm looking at here. If you want to see the pictures for the other signs as well, that is posted on my Facebook page. So let's get started with your reading. We're going to go with beginning first. We're just going to go in, chronological order here. So let's talk about the beginning of your month. This is the first 10 days-ish of April. This is the third that I would say is the most blocked, which is like kind of more elusive, not really sure about things, but we still have information to share with you. The first part here is a lot of you are selling something here, really doing some selling off of maybe some assets, finances being moved, and getting your value out of something. That's basically what happens when you sell. For others of you, they're saying that there may be a spiritual disconnect here. It's kind of a weird secondary definition of the card, but the card has a couple of those. Tarot's kind of weird and funky like that sometimes. So maybe some of you got to get back into your spiritual groove a little bit here. Get back into the yoga class or get back out into nature. Go hang out at the beach or something like that, right? So whatever version of that, really need to ground it out here a little bit. The next thing they show here early in the first 10 days is that there's a message. It's very interesting because it's a love message that's coming in. They're showing me that it's happening in the first 10 days here. And a love message is a correspondence through somebody close to your heart, a love interest, family member, sibling, close friend. Hard to speculate on, especially in a general. But it's coming in here saying that it's here, but then it points me back toward the end of April. So I think what's going on here, it's kind of a loopy way to get there, but I think what they're trying to say is that you're going to get information about something early in April that is relevant about late April. Okay. And this is from, like I said, from somebody close to your heart or from a loved one or love messaging. Maybe for some of you singles, it could be like a date type thing where you find out about this person or they ask you out, but you don't actually go out until later. So you get the energy of what's going on here. And that's what they show. And the next thing I have here is new ideas. So we have new ideas, new light bulb effects, brilliant ideas, new inspiration happening. And if it's not, that is much the push. Okay, so we need to get rid of the old ways of doing things here. Whatever you got going on here in early April has to be new. Very big push actually toward our new moon. When we get to the end of your reading and we go over the moon cycle forecast, you're going to want to pay attention to that new moon because it is the last big time in 2024. It is the last super new moon of 2024, and it's one of the largest. It's the best time to bring new things into your life. And if that's what you're trying to do, especially here in part 1 of your month, don't want you to miss it, okay? I have messages in a bottle coming in from the first 10 days here. This is my Oracle Angel card, and they're saying here that they're trying to get through to you. They're trying to pass these messages through the veil. Maybe that's why they want you more grounded, more connected into nature and so forth. They want you to be on the same level so you can receive the messages, receive the inspiration, and all that kind of stuff. So pay attention to the signs. They're out there, and they're trying to show you the way. Let's get into the middle of your month. This is probably the biggest focus because that's what the third spread does. And not just that, but they have a major arcana card that came up for you here, which talks about how big of a theme this is, how big of a draw this is for my Libras here in the middle of April. And this is maybe the 10th through the 20th, something like that. And what they show here is a big major change, big shift going on here, something like really blowing up. And it's the Tower card, so a lot of readers actually view this negatively. I don't necessarily, because something blowing up can be very good. It really depends on what's going on and what it is that's blowing up. If you're in like an abusive relationship and it blows up and you're not together anymore, that would be a very good blow up, right? If you're in sales and you haven't sold anything in a couple months and sales are down, and then all of a sudden you blow up with sales, well, that's good news too. So you get the idea of blow ups aren't necessarily bad, but it could be, especially in a general reading. I can't pinpoint too tight what it is for everybody, and I really kind of feel like it's half and half, to be honest with you. So if you don't get your blow up to be good, I just don't want you to come back and be like, oh, you promised me a good blow up. I just promised you a blow up. Something major changing here. The foundational coming down so that you can build something up better. So even if it's not something you really appreciate of a blow up, it's for a reason, and it's so you can have an opportunity to do something different, do it better, that kind of energy. Now, they do talk about being really tied down here in the middle of the month. So I don't know if that means that you're busy or, you just don't have time to really deal with things as much as you'd like to or something like that. And there's also an element of new business coming in the middle of the month. So maybe that is the good path blow up. The good example of that is new. We have new in the first 10 days and we have new in the second 10 days. This new happens to be less about ideas and more about business and work corner things, new work for some of you doing new work exactly, looking for new jobs. All that stuff falls very nicely into the middle of the month here. And they talk about happy, happy, which reminds me of the song. Happy, happy, because I'm happy, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, doing what makes you happy. Big draw. You can't forget about what brings you happiness. That's the key to this whole thing, the key especially to the middle of April. When we get into the end of April, guys, I put your Rune Stone right here, so I'd read it right here because that's what the Rune Stone's for. Now, I might as well just give it to you right now. The Rune Stone is the rune of separation. Separation. There's something they want you to separate and put space between you and it from. Not sure what that is, but in a general reading, that's what I gotta do for you because we're dealing with all the Libras here. All the Libras here at the same time. My Libra bubble energy. Love you all. But general readings are never as good as personal private readings. It's kind of common sense. But if you're looking for messages that are personal, private, specific only to you and not all of your Libra friends, I offer a wide variety of those readings from small all the way up to full service. ScottSagent.com, guys. Something for everybody there. So the separation, I don't even have this rune on my bear board, unfortunately, so I can't show you what it is. But it's kind of like looks like a fish swimming upwards type of thing. And separation here, I put it here because the first tarot card I have here is my 8 of Cups, which is a card about leaving something behind you and not looking back. You're moving forward. You're not going back to the past. You're not looking back at the past. You're moving forward in a direction, and that is the separation. Okay, this happens to fall into the full moon energy too, which we'll talk about in your moon cycle forecast. So I do want you guys to pay attention to that full moon, especially if you're not trying to actively add something into your life. If you are, new moon is your key. But for others of you, the end of the month is going to be a big draw for full moon because they show you leaving something behind right here. And this has an emotional attachment on you. So it's not something that's easily left behind, but something that probably does need to be left. They show for some of you it has to do with love. I have the Lover's card inverted, like saying love blocked. Love, a love relationship that wasn't good, or maybe a union between two people. Maybe it's not romantic at all, and maybe it's just, a friendship that wasn't really, doing it for you, or maybe, it was more acquaintance thing, and, you thought it was a friendship, but then, they didn't do something the right way, or they didn't treat you right, or you get the idea. So I have the Lovers inverted, hanging upside down, and then I have my King of Swords. They did tell me not the person, though, on that one. So I'm not talking about a male. I'm talking about the energy of my King of Swords, which is authority with your mind. So be very firm about your decision making. Be very, don't be confused and confuddled. And, be just very precise about what you're doing. Very like corporate job, like CEO energy, where you're just being very firm. And it's like, sorry, I got to fire you. But you know what? We got too many of you. So we gotta, sometimes you gotta make the hard decisions. Sometimes you gotta do the hard things in life. And sometimes being polite ain't the way to get it done. That's what they show here. They also want you to imagine here at the end of April what all it can be when you separate yourself from what needs to be separated from. Okay, so good things can happen from this, good things can come out of this, and they want you to really kind of imagine what it can be so that you can help build it. That's going to reinforce the building blocks of what you're trying to do here and kind of make the whole thing unfold in a way that is very nice and pleasant for you. We're going to get into your moon cycles right now, guys. I am doing your homily this month that is just not going to be attached to this reading. It's going to be a standalone video on YouTube. I'll also post it on Facebook. It's around the time of the urgent readings, and I'm looking on my list. I do not have an urgent reading for Libra, so really this is the main bulk of the information they wanted to get through to you. So that's it, guys. You'll see your homily in around April 6th or 7th, something like that. And let's get into those moon cycles because Libra, you guys have a big one here for full moon. We talked about that toward the end of your month, and we talked about new in the first 20 days of April. Okay guys, it is moon cycles forecast time. Let's talk about these lunar energies that are all around us anyways, so we can use it to our benefit, implement some positive change into your month. Well, the first thing you need to understand is whether these energies are coming in or going out. Just like the tides, the moon has control of that. In the same way, you can use it too. The first thing that hits chronologically this month is the new moon. You're going to see all the text information on your screen, any rare occurrences, as well as the date. Now, this is a target date for the new moon. It doesn't have to be done on this date, guys. I really like to bracket a few days before and a few days after to get a very powerful week where you can bring new things into your life and really manifest. If it is NEW, it's not there before, brand new, this is the best time to bring it into your life. Something new financially, maybe something new with work, new love, new health. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's new, this is the best time of the month to work on these things, really help bring it in. Adversely, the full moon, the opposite energy, the energy going out, hits on this date on your screen. And of course, the same rules apply. It doesn't have to be done on this date. We're talking about a week window, a few days on each side of it here. When this energy is very strong going out, and the energy going out is the best time to get things out of your life that don't belong there or that you don't want there. Something that's got control of you or hold of you that you don't want. Maybe something like a bad habit, maybe emotional baggage, a bill that's got to go. That would be something financially, maybe something with health, maybe an eating habit that's got to go. It doesn't matter if it's got to go. The full moon is your best bet to get this change to stick. If any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. I do it every single month. It is free. It is on the website, guys. You can check it out very easily. It is a little graphic illustration, a tool that you can use so you can kind of see these changes moving in and moving out, so you can align things in your month to it to really get them to stick, implement some great positive changes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future readings. Remember that your homily will be posted in a standalone video on April 6th or 7th. I'll see you guys then. Have an excellent April. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.